Good morning, America, and the rest of the world. As people are running helter skelter, I'm gonna focus my constructive, positive energy onto some other shit that is bothering me. I'm gonna rant about this recent phenomenon, this emergence of all these people in this demographics in the whole millennial bracket, or probably overlapping the Venn diagram, about this page of all these gurus, so-called gurus, self-appointed gurus, even though they don't spell it out quite like that, who after just a hit of psilocybin or ayahuasca, magic mushroom, or DMT, or 5-MeO DMT, or ibogaine, and whatnot, somehow found the meaning to light and the cosmic epiphany and the answers of all answers, solving the enlightenment Rubik's Cube puzzle on the top of Himalaya. And the influencers, so to speak, whether it be YouTube or Instagram or any other platform, there's this recent spate of them who who even though they don't say that they have all the answers, but they're trying to be this influencer, quote unquote. And then we have this spray of influencees, this cult like followers who follow some of these words to the letter, and lest you challenge them, somehow you're barbaric, and or you're whatever label they want to vilify and demonize you with. Obviously, I don't think psychedelics is the answer, not the true answer, and not everyone should be doing it, and I didn't do it. My only thing was salvia, that was once, and like fucking flotation tank, that's it. The only change, the real sort of metamorphosis, the Kafkain metamorphosis that really happened in my life were from those series of, and it wasn't, yeah, there was the first one, the sensory deprivation one, or the flotation one. That was, but then again, there were certain moments in my life where I had those, and who knows, being on weed and cannabis, it could have been induced and triggered by that at many times, or whatever the method or the life that I was leading, the following, whether even guided meditation and whatnot. It could have been an amalgamation and combination of all these forces and factors culminating into this apex of this brief glimpses, darshan of the cosmic mind. And so we have this whatnot, this I can rattle out probably 10 names, and I wouldn't, both prominent and non-prominent, and there are more. There this whole litany of them on YouTube who think, and this is just this another rat race. They do this, they do vipassana meditation, then oh, that's not doing it for them. Then they do acid because the first time they did DMT. Maybe I should go to Peru. Maybe the journey itself is all about the journey. That has become another trite cliche. The end is not the purpose, the journey. Everything becomes like somehow humanity and society has found a way to fucking dilute and adulterate the purity of any valuable value, and devalue it with their agenda, and it comes so subtle and under the guise of fake pretense of this positive and goodness and sweetness and whatnot. I mean, yeah, all these demotivational posters and Facebook messages and Facebook feel good posters, which are nothing but just clickbaits, and you know, to engage those like farmers in fucking China or something. So yeah, there's this whole group of people. There's probably around the age of fucking from 18, anywhere from 18, and it's all over the world, not an American thing. They somehow think, oh, well, just because I went to a fucking Coachella or some other concert, like yeah, or like I was in freaking this concert, hippie concert, and that when I had my mushroom dose or LSD heroic dose, and then it's all about, have you had the heroic dose yet, bitch, bruh? Unless you haven't had the heroic dose, you ain't nothing. Or like then there's the whole DMT 5-MeO DMT distinction, as if your whole life doesn't matter and it's gonna fall apart if you haven't done 5D MEO, like you don't have the balls enough to do that. I mean, yeah, obviously you need certain, and it is one of those. I'm not knocking on psychedelics. I do think they have their place if at the right set and setting you do it, and by set and setting, I'm not meaning the literal set and setting. I'm meaning the through the course of your time. Some if all the factors lead up to it, who knows? I mean, yeah. And even I'm not knocking on the psychedelic experience or your spiritual experience, your perceived spiritual experience, because I don't even think there is any. There probably happens a shift, evolve fast, but that's about it. And it's just coming in terms to your inner light, your true nature. And I mean, anyone can glimpse that at any. I mean, it's not like I fucking at the traffic light or at bus well, traveling in bus. I have this epiphany, and I'm a FedEx postal worker or something, and like, and I come home and say, you know what? Maybe the life that I've been leading was a complete bullshit, and I wash, and maybe I should drop everything and do my podcast. And some of that is probably that new life would be much somehow better than chosen path than the previous one that I used to live. And again, if that's the thing, then maybe that's what actually universe is pulling you and drawing you to do. And this has become another tried cliche, universe. I mean, we just replace the fucking term God with universe or instead of nature, because nature is like too like waterfally and spring plants and waterfally. So we have substituted nature and God with freaking universe. It's like it is more. You're more neutral, so more you have more equanimity if you just use the term, this neutral term, universe. And so yeah. So I'm not even knocking on the experience. I mean, but what I'm saying is not. There are millions of people out there having experience, and you don't see them radically, drastically change their lifestyle. Maybe if you feel that that's the only way out, probably who knows? Maybe that's not a real authentic experience again. And by saying that, I'm questioning your experience probably. But what I'm trying to say is that, and there are people out there, this cult like followers, and there are um, some who actually charge you for their courses or their little packets and whatnot. And fair enough, and they'll justify it, say, hey, everyone needs to make a living. Fair enough. But I also reserve my right to shit on you if I detect the slightest form of inauthenticity. I mean, really? Really, somehow, somehow, you had your whole fucking ayahuasca experience. You went to Peru, or like you had the iboga experience, because you were such an asshole before. And you realize, you know what, maybe I was an asshole before, like a really horrible monster. And you go about preaching everyone that you should be kind and whatnot, do good and whatnot. What you fail to realize in all this self-delusion punch you're drinking, that's just another form of ego trip. And by preaching everyone, you go and preach to a fucking rape victim, or like a someone who has been like slaughtered, amputated with a terrorist bomb. Yeah, should preach kindness, forgiveness, radical forgiveness. And it's obviously not as direct, but the fact that society lauds all these qualities, but they preach all these qualities but don't practice it, be it liberals or Republicans or Democrats or of any creed, religion, race, and whatnot, be it black, white. I wanted to start this podcast with like saying, "Hey, what's up?" I wonder if you can even say that word. Probably you can, because there are obviously black people out there saying it. All these kids making all this podcasts, this vlogs, and I mean yeah. But I probably the first person I'll probably piss off is Eric Michael Dyson. He'll be, I'm sure, the man who has suffered all the plight of all the millions and millions of slaves. Someone will come and lecture me just because I opened my fucking uh, zero view zero view podcast with the N word somehow. I'm this misguided, delusional youth who has this entitlement and whatnot, right? That's from the one group. Another, there will be another holy, righteous people of other, probably black rights movement and whatnot, will probably be thinking that, hey, surely got him this time. That somehow encapsulates and sums up all my life's philosophy towards black people and whatnot. You can't even say anything nowadays. Like, even if you just said the word like putrid feminist, that itself is somehow will be offensive to some people. Like, I mean, even though like, I don't know what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is, so okay, going back to the main topic. this spate of these gurus, and they're all, they do their namaste, and they're humble, and then, they're all pleasing and pleasing pleasing and happy and sunshiny, the with this perfect amount of jump cut edits to lead you through this portal of this cosmic mandala, and then Vishnu, and then freaking, I don't know, like, like freaking, okay. So what I'm saying is, and then you wake up and you think, hey, I'm already having a shitty life, and then I see these guys who somehow man, and you even need money to go to actually Peru, and how much of a spoiled brat you actually have to be, or you can even be doing your regular job. But then, hey, if you were doing a regular job and getting paid handsomely, maybe you shouldn't have been going for this experience in the first place. But and if you didn't have money to eke out your final final ducat to take this trek to freaking pilgrimage to Peru, and thinking that somehow will solve it. It's, I mean, how much what a stupid fuck how much of a stupid fuck, more of a stupid fuck can you be? Yeah. So I mean, how much of a spoiled brat you have to be to go to like fucking do all these things, and somehow self-righteously like justifying it as some kind of virtue. Oh, at least I made a change, I did something about me. Yeah, because you're an asshole, and you realize you're too of an asshole to realize you're too much of an asshole. So you go out there, and you have this radical, drastic transformation and shift, and you become go out and become preach. You were don this robe, as it happened to Ram Das. But he later realized the folly of it all, the irony and joke of it, and he used to almost parody himself. But yeah, then you have all these people, and then you have some like with fucking jap malas and whatnot, with all those bindus and whatnot on their on their plaster of the face like a fucking clown, and they somehow think, and they got the Ganesh statue at the back. Again, I'm not shitting on your lifestyle, but I'm somehow what I'm saying is, somehow you become this holy man, and you suffer from this holy man syndrome, and you have this cult of followers who also suckle this from your udder of all this wisdom, like this distorted view of wisdom, and they somehow, they're in their trance, opiumed out, and like this Lotus fag guy, Hoi Polloi, who are like drinking this another Kool-Aid, and somehow, even though they may not have that actual experience as you did, so somehow they think that's, it's like to making the tail wag the dog. So they somehow say, okay, by being this nice guy, virtuous, polite kind guy, I could have the same experience as you, and somehow change my lifestyle to realize how much of an asshole I am, to realize I'm an asshole. Maybe I'm not an asshole enough to do something about it, to realize I'm not much of an asshole, right? And it's just fucking snake chasing its own tail, dog chasing its own tail, just another trip, another ego trip. Somehow then they're not enough. Is again the treadmill goes on, they go to India, or like, if that's not doing the trick, maybe I should be doing this, or probably invest in a neuroscience helmet, or if that's not doing it, and it's another, and they somehow, they're too dumb to realize they're falling into another ego trap of this this trapdoor. This trapdoor they're sucked right into the from the same starting square from where they started. This epicenter, this ground zero of their whole this ego trip, Gilgamesh ego trip, and but what happens, the damage they do in the process is they affect all these people this who somehow think that that's the only way, or if not, that's the way, the similar closer way to actually get to that ultimate point. I don't know if I should give a concrete example. I can't even think of a concrete example. Um, I don't even know why I'm doing these shits, even though, I mean, or probably there's the risk, the challenge of it. Because when it's go time, you have to go. Once you press the record button, you can't stop. You can't just go like freaking. You can't hesitate anymore. It's kind of like a performance rush that you get, even though I'm not killing it quite quietly, like Heath Ledger. These are not exactly Heath Ledger monologues. I mean, in Joker, yeah. I have to reiterate Joker because there could actually have been monologues in freaking Brokeback Mountain or something, and people would be like, now I have just put the right amount of doubt. Now you don't even know if there were any dramatic monologues in Brokeback Mountain before. And that's another thing. It's kind of like the for the disc jockeys and the radio jockeys, the DJs, it's gonna come easily. This whole thing podcast, but if you've never done it live, and suddenly, I mean, so we have this group and they affect, subconscious, not subconsciously, like inadvertently they affect this other group, and they have and he has his followers, and then you get all this. Even though we're all trying to help each, as that's another cliche poster you see, we're all trying to help each other back to where we started. Problem with these all these things is maybe his truth is not saying for your truth. Maybe you don't have to be kind. Maybe you should be an asshole. Maybe you have been kind your whole life. Maybe you have been fucking a doormat your whole life, and you're much of a doormat to realize you've been a fucking, because you're sucking this, you're under the delusional drink, that I'm so holy, that I should be a doormat, and that's the only virtue. There's virtue in suffering and whatnot, plight in suffering. Madame Teresa like plight, and that was as toxic enough and preventing you from your growth to be, you know what, maybe I should be more of a un-Jesus and like a antichrist than and an asshole than the mask that I was really wearing. So and that's why, and that's a completely opposite paradigm. There's another like completely opposite frame, this mind frame, and so you have this conflict and clash. That's why, no, I'm not gonna say that's why I think Taoism has more edge, because which preaches inaction and Wu Wei of, just letting the game play out, letting it flow, letting it unfurl and unscroll. But and I have my biases and preferences, but that's what a Taoist would do, a Taoist master. I mean, but then the only reason people do that because they still don't realize there's some residual ego. If we're really, what do you think God would do if he was really enlightened, quote unquote? If he had, if he had no, not zero, zero amount of ego and even virtue. There's the highest virtue is non-virtue, as the Chinese say. So if God had like not an iota, not a rice grain's worth, not a mustard seed worth of ill and the darkness, how would he really be? Would he just be this? Would we live in a world of stepford wives, this polyomana, this perceived utopia, or would life, it would be exactly like as it been until now, and as it'll continue to do so from now on? Ponder that.